An apology today after Jacksonville High School scheduled diversity events that separated students based on race. Those meetings have since been canceled. On your side's Don White tells us what the school plans to do differently moving forward.
When I saw it, I was actually in complete and utter shock.
Beatrice Rodriguez graduated from Douglas Anderson School of the Arts in 2016.
I don't think any kind of segregation creates community.
Parents and students received this email Tuesday evening. The principal explaining one meeting would be for students of color and the other for white students.
A lot of students, like myself, if I were still at school, felt like, what pantsuit do I wear? I have a white mom and a black dad.
The segregated meetings were quickly canceled after complaints from students and parents, followed by a statement from DCPS and then another statement from the high school's principal. DCPS sent us this statement saying in part we'll be assisting consultants in the school with a more appropriate plan going forward. Douglas Anderson principal Melanie Hammer also said in a statement, "We apologize for the lack of clarity with how this was originally communicated."
It felt like something of the past. I mean, it was kind of scary. Since when do we separate students based on the colors of their skin? That's ridiculous.
A current student talks about the uproar this created tonight at 6. In Spring Park, Dawn White, First Coast News, on your side.